All right, ready to start. We'll start with roll call. Mr. Dool.
Here.
Mr. Bellis. Mr. Pahovich.
Here.
Mr. McNulty.
Here.
Mr. Doherty.
Here.
Have a motion to come back from recess for ZON-19-02, TH Midwest Inc.
So moved.
Second.
Who was the second?
Adam.
Okay. Motion to come back from recess for ZON-19-02 by Mr. McNulty, second by Mr. Pahovich. Mr. Dool.
Yes.
Mr. Pahovich.
Yes.
Mr. McNulty.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
As I said, the applicant is on here.
Yes, Mr. Reinhardt appearing again on behalf of TH Midwest Inc., EG America, who is the owner of TH Midwest. To give you an update from the last time that we talked, a couple of things have happened. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has occurred, kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench in the works. But I've also established direct communications with the gentleman in Boston, Massachusetts, who has the authority to hire and fire and approve this project or end it. So we are making progress. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the finalized plans the week prior to today's meeting, which is what staff had requested. So the council and staff could review it in time for making a report to the board. So the additional update regarding that is I have received those updated and completed plans. And I was telling Jeff, I don't know if everybody heard before the meeting started, but I told Jeff that I would be working to hopefully get him and Michelle updated and revised application materials either late this week or early next. So with that being said, when I talked to Michelle about potentially tabling this matter to a later date, I think she had mentioned you guys have a meeting like June the 16th and possibly June the 9th. But I don't know if you guys have actually discussed that or talked about that, but certainly I'm amenable to either one of those. Could certainly do June the 9th if that's acceptable to the board, or if you want to wait till June 16th, that'd be fine as well.
So Michelle's email said June 9th, right?
Yes.
Right.
We do have something scheduled for June 16th now.
Okay. I mean, if you're positive we can make all the deadlines to hit June 9th, June 9th is fine.
Yeah, like I said, I've got all the materials I need in order to be able to put the application together. So,
Okay.
And I'm working on that right now. So,
Okay. Then if June 9th's okay, we can go with that date. Is everybody else okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Is there anything else we need to discuss before recess to June 9th?
the only thing I was just going to make a matter of record as well is that I communicated to Jeff that I've sent a check over to the township for the tabling fees that have accrued to this point. So hopefully the township receives that. If not, I'll coordinate with Jeff and Michelle, make sure that that gets processed. So.
Okay. So if there's nothing further, have a motion to recess ZON-19-02 until for TH Midwest Inc. to Tuesday, June the 9th, 7 p.m. I'm going to say at Orange Township Hall or via Zoom if circumstances continue to dictate.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to recess zone-19-02 to Tuesday, June 9th at 7 p.m. Either Township Hall or virtual meeting, seconded by Mr. Doherty. Those voting, Mr. Dool,
Yes.
Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Reinhardt, we
Okay.
look forward to seeing all those materials about a week before the
Yeah,
9th.
and what I told Jeff is I'm just going to do a brand new binder for you guys. So just look forward for that. So that you don't have to keep carrying around the same one that you got. So, so anyway, with that, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you June the 9th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Chris.
So before everybody else goes, we've got the request to approve meeting minutes for 3 meetings. The first is the minutes for ZON-19-02 from March the 3rd. Does anybody have any comments?
This is Mike McCarthy. I had no comments on those minutes.
This is Adam, no comment.
Yeah, Dennis.
No comments as well.
I'm good.
I have no.
Looks like most of the meeting minutes are the approval of prior meeting minutes, so
Right.
we end up in some sort of vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So with no comments, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from March the 3rd, 2020 for rezoning application ZON-19-02?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve March 3rd minutes. Second by Mr. Doherty. Those voting, Mr. Dool,
Yes.
Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
The second set of minutes is for March the 24th, 2020 for ZON-19-07 as Nova Lands. Does anybody have any comments?
No comments here.
No comments here.
I don't have any comments.
Yeah, that looks like a quick reschedule as well, so.
Yep.
Just kind of a motion to approve the minutes for ZON-19-07 from March 24th, 2020.
So moved.
That I have comments on.
Oh.
I'm sorry, is that for Nova Lands or?
No, that's the March 24th minutes. That's what we're approving here.
Okay, March 20, I'm sorry, Mark, go ahead.
See, so the motion to approve the minutes for ZON-19-07 for March 24th.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Pahovich to approve March 24th minutes, second by Mr. McNulty. Those voting, Mr. Dool,
Yes.
Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Excellent. And then the final set of minutes we have is for ZON-19-07, which is also Nova Lands, for April 14th, 2020. I believe, Mr. McCarthy, that's what you had comments on?
Yeah, I saw Nova Lands and panicked, Mark, sorry. Yeah, on line 30, to start out on line 34, the sentence reads, while there is no one in at the time, I think what Mr. Herman said was something more like, since there was no one in the house or living in the house at that time, they couldn't run a full test. They did an inspection, et cetera. Because otherwise, I don't know what the sentence. I also recall what Tony said. It was something to that effect.
Okay.
Then on line 61, the word approvals should be approval, just in the singular. Because the list, the pile of documents is going to be the approved development plan. And it's only one document at that point. Line 107, I think I said I drafted it both ways. Not I asked for it both ways. And then we get into the 127. There should be a comma after Barnes. This is kind of what we were debating anyway. Should be a comma after Barnes in that line. The next line, Sheds and Barnes are all right, because in the question marks, I think, because they are not to be within the US 23 setback, I think is what goes in the question marks. And that same line, the were put, were to be out, should be were also to be out.
Okay.
And line 129, pick should be picked. I would, for the sake of clarity on line 130, I'd probably put the word Barnes in quotes. On line 133, instead of the 40% is not used, I think it should be if the 40% is not used.
Okay.
Same line 133, the purposes should have a comma after it, and then it should have a small I. That was all one sentence. Then on line 180, I think residing, or it should be re-siding. Because you were saying you had no problem not putting the wood on and taking the metal off.
All right.
Line 238. Oh, come on, there it is. The reason for that stipulation is that people would agree in good faith at this level to preserve the trees, and the crews would come in, and there were phone calls that the trees were gone. That's on 239.
Okay.
Then on 274, instead of the last word in the line, instead of being downlight, it should be non-downlight. Eliminate all exterior non-downlight, not downlight fixtures. We'll have them all uplight.
All right.
What number was that?
That was on line 274, Jeff. 274.
Okay.
And I have nothing further.
Any other comments?
No comments.
No comment from me.
Okay.
Michelle had 2 comments on
All right.
line 353, where it says sending it on. There should be a comma. There is still language to be determined. Taking out the word is. And then on line 225, we're dead or dying or tops blown out. Should be, the word out should be added.
Okay.
And that is all she has.
All right. So kind of a motion to approve the minutes for ZON-19-07 dated April 14, 2020 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Was that Mr. Doherty that first?
That's correct.
Motion made by Mr. Doherty to approve April 14th minutes as amended. Seconded by Mr. McNulty. Those voting, Mr. Jewell,
Yes.
Mr. Pahovich,
Yes.
Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
All right. Are there any other issues which we need to address tonight?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Then we are adjourned.
Bye.
Have a good night, folks.
Thank you.